Excuse me. So I just want to welcome you to this little series of webinars. I'm going to be doing maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 over the next little while. Myself and with a few guests along the way, we're going to look at resiliency. What is it? How do we get more of it? Right? Because we can look at things like, have you ever wondered how some people kind of just bounce back from adversity? You know, something goes bad in their life and they just knock it off their shoulder and keep on going. And then there's the others. Sometimes we struggle with things. Sometimes it seems to really hit us a lot harder than other people. What's the difference there? You know, what's going on? And that's what we're going to look at in the next little while is what is resiliency? Like I said, how can we get more of it? And it's something that is a broad scheme of things we can look at because resiliency is built with connections with your community. It's little things that you can do, which we'll talk about through these little webinars. But it's a whole, wholesome and what's that word I'm looking for? It's when you look at everything holistically, right? And you look at it in a whole broad spectrum of things. It's not just one thing you can do, it's a whole bunch of things. So I am going to welcome you to join me over the next few weeks, like I said, and we could do that together. So like it says here, some people are born with resiliency, a little bit more than others. Some people grow their resiliency, okay? But what is it really, you ask? Well, I have a lovely little video here that's going to show us what it is, and I hope you enjoy it. It's a great way to look at that because I can't change I apologize, I can't change my screen right now. There we go. So please enjoy this video that's about to be played, and we'll connect after it's done. It takes about 5 minutes.
Brains. They are everywhere. In the world's gentlest places and its harshest. In this unforgiving environment, some brains exhibit troubling signs. Addiction, illness, depression, social disorder. Yet others thrive. Why have some brains developed the ability to cope in harsh conditions while others struggle? It is one of nature's great secrets.
Hi. Hello? This is amazing. But I just need to clarify a few things. This great secret? It's actually science. Severe adversity isn't good for any brain. But it is true that some brains do better than others in the face of significant challenges.
Oh, a scientist. Yes, I agree. This is a great secret of science.
Great, yes, but not a secret. Let me explain. We're born with brains, but our brains change as we grow. They develop based on experiences we have, and different brains respond to experiences in different ways. Okay, thanks. I'll let you get back to it.
Indeed. Some brains show robustity and strongitude, while others...
Sorry, we scientists use the word resilience. Some brains are more resilient than others.
Yes, resiliensis.
Resilience?
Resilience. Revenge of the cortex.
Resilience is a result of the interplay between genes and life experiences. It's a brain's ability to maintain good functioning under adversity.
Resilience makes us invincible.
Nothing makes us invincible. What resilience does is to give less leverage to negative factors in our lives and tip the balance in favor of positive outcomes.
Resilience. Fate's legendary prize.
Whoa, no! Some people are born with more resilience than others, but resilience can also be built over time. It's a big project involving parents, caregivers, teachers,
Kith, kin, karaoke comrades,
soccer coaches, counselors,
pastry chefs, associate producers, even millennials, like a barn raising in times of old.
Yeah. In fact, we scientists believe strong brain architecture is the foundation for resilience. And, oh, look over there.
Oh, yes. A young brain returns after months of isolation and adversity. No words can describe what this poor brain has suffered.
There are words that describe it. We scientists call it toxic stress.
Toxic stress lies in wait.
No, that's not. No. Stress happens inside the body. It's the fight or flight system kicking in. But if stress hormones are elevated too high and for too long, it can have negative effects on the brain and body.
Stress, a nasty poison.
Not all stress, just toxic stress. With the right supports, we can make severe stress tolerable, which means it won't do lasting damage. Stress can even be positive because it helps us to learn problem solving and coping skills, which leads us back to resilience.
Alas, this brain is resilience-less.
No, it isn't. Let me explain. Remember when I talked about giving less leverage to negative experiences and tipping the scale in a positive direction? Well, here's a little something I've been working on. It's a really amazing metaphor. Here it goes. I call it the resilience scale.
Resilience scales. Protective armor plates that
Shiny! But no. The resilience scale helps us understand why some brains are more resilient than others.
The resilience scale sends out invisible resilience rays that's
It's really just a scale. See? It's a beam being held up by a fulcrum.
full of crumbs.
Geez, no! A fulcrum. You know, like high school Never mind. Let me just clean this up. See, negative experiences add weight to one end of the beam, and positive factors add weight to the other end. Ideally, we want the scale to tip toward the positive side and lead towards positive life outcomes.
The brain's future literally hangs in the balance.
The position of the fulcrum can be understood as our original capacity for resilience. It's something like our genetic starting position. Remember the young brain that was struggling to survive? Look, it started life with the fulcrum off-center, giving more leverage to negative experiences. Serious stuff, like abuse, neglect, and chaotic environments. That means positive factors like responsive relationships, safe environments, and learning opportunities had less leverage. Over time, the negative load shifted the fulcrum even farther in a negative direction.
Tragedy.
Not at all! Right now, this brain is experiencing poor health. But with help, the scale can be tipped toward more positive outcomes. The first thing we can do is to stop negative experiences from stacking up. Then, we can add more positive factors, loading up the positive side of the scale. And we're not done. We can work to shift the fulcrum in a way that favors positive outcomes.
The fulcrum, an amazing instant fix-it button.
No! It's a process. It involves many supportive people and plenty of time. Remember? This brain is still young, so adult brains can work with it to relieve toxic stress and teach coping skills. In early childhood, these efforts can push the fulcrum a considerable distance.
Childhood, filled with fascination and fulcrum flexibility.
Sort of, but there are other sensitive developmental periods that are windows of opportunity, like adolescence. And even if this brain doesn't get help until adulthood, change is still possible. It will take more support, and the change will be less dramatic. But any fulcrum can be moved to make positive outcomes more achievable.
The bad experiences disappear.
I'm afraid not. It's hard to undo the effects of past negative experiences, and it takes time. But we can eventually relieve the burden of those negative experiences. Our little brain can get the help it needs to adapt, recover, and enjoy good health and wellness.
And everyone, everywhere can become more resilient for eternity.
Why not? With the right support, everyone everywhere can become more resilient.
I'm so glad I saved humanity. It's been a majestic experience.
Yeah, me too. Well done.
Awesome. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that video. I think it's quite cute, and it really gives us a good understanding of what's going on in the brain and what we're talking about here. So I think over the next few series here, the little webinars, that's what we're going to try to do is how do you, what coping skills can you do to improve your resiliency? So now I'd like you to take a moment and do a poll for us, if you would be so inclined to do so. You'll see some questions down there. So on a scale of 1 to 5, how much resiliency do you think you have right now? And then the second question is, do you believe you have the ability to increase your resiliency? So I'm going to leave those up for a moment, and I would love for you to answer those questions to the best of your ability. We're going to ask them at the end of this series. So I hope everybody, it continues on with the series, because I'd like to see if any of those numbers change. Awesome. I see some numbers coming in. I like that. That's great. I'll just give everybody a moment to do it. And I love the way that they explain that toxic stress is really what gets to us, right? The body's actually built for stress. It's how we are conditioned to deal with, issues in our life. The body becomes more awake, the blood cells widen, the blood starts to pump faster, the brain starts working, the digestive system stops working, so we can concentrate on the things we have to concentrate on. So that's a great thing to have. But when we have what we call toxic stress, things that should not happen to people, and without the right supports when those things happen, it starts to really affect our resiliency. So I think we're good there. I'm not sure if Haruka can tell if everybody has answered or not. Aha. Excellent. Okay, great. Thank you. So like I said, in this series, we're going to talk about how to increase our resiliency. We're going to have a bunch of different links. So if you're not watching this live right now, I invite you to click on the next link. I do invite you to look on the website right now. That's yourspacehamilton.ca. And under the youth webinars, you'll find a webinar called Self-Care, Looking After Yourself. It's done by Katie, and she's quite wonderful to listen to. So I kind of challenge you to go and look at that self-care piece. I didn't want to duplicate what's an excellent video that's already out there, and I was going to cover that in the list of resiliency attributes, because that's a huge one, right? Giving yourself the ability to handle the stuff. If we're not looking after ourselves, our bodies just can't handle that, right? And another important point I want to put out there today is, remember that being part of a resiliency is having the ability to ask for help. You notice on that scale, there were so many community members helping out that little brain. It's the same with everybody, right? We're social creatures. We need the help of others. So I hope you join my series. That's great. But I also hope that you ask for outside help if you need it, for sure. I also want you to draw your attention to the bottom box below the screen that says Hamilton.ca Arts Award. If you go on that website, the first, it's Art Week right now, the 6th to, let me get, I have the dates here, the 12th to the 20th. It's Hamilton Arts Week. I guess it's every June. I haven't participated before, but I have looked